Joining me now is esteemed geologist and author, Professor Ian Plimer. Professor, Energy and Climate Change Minister Chris Bowen is at it again on social media. I don't know, he thinks he's some sort of an Insta-influencer these days. Let's have a look at his latest offering.
So Peter Dutton reckons we need nuclear to make more electricity for things like AI and aluminium smelters, but his own policy documents show that nuclear would create 40% less electricity for Australia. Got it.
Nuclear will generate less electricity than renewables. Ian, is there a flaw in that claim?
Well, Mr. Bowen is wrong. There is a major flaw in his argument. We have 32 countries that use nuclear power. We have 19 of the G20 countries that have nuclear power. We're the only one that doesn't. The G7 countries, all of them have nuclear power. We've had a nuclear reactor in Australia since the late 1950s. And the first reactor, the HIFAR reactor, operated from 1958 to 2007 when it was retired. Our second reactor, the OPAL reactor, is still going. Now, we have a nuclear industry already, and our nuclear power station provides medicines for people who might be suffering from cancer. But if we look around the world, we see that there are many countries much smaller than us, like Slovenia, only 2 million people. They've got nuclear power. Finland, 5.5 million people. They've got nuclear power. Hungary, smaller than us. Belgium, Israel, the Netherlands, Armenia. They're all smaller than us and they have nuclear power. Spain has more people, but its economy is less than ours and they have nuclear power. So Mr. Bowen should actually get his facts right.
Now, the Labor government in WA has said that mining giant Fortescue owes between $5 and $10 million in compensation for damaging 249 Indigenous cultural heritage sites during the construction of the Solomon iron ore mine in the Pilbara. The local people there are fighting a landmark $1.8 billion in compensation in their federal court case against Fortescue. What else can you tell us about this case?
Well, this is a can of worms. We have mining companies that pay royalties, they pay taxes, the employees pay taxes, they pay company tax. And on top of that, you've got another impost, and that is so-called compensation to Aboriginal people. And this becomes fairly onerous. The rules are very flexible. It just depends upon whether the Aboriginal population can see that there's a gold mine there of money that they can extract from you. So I'm fairly dubious about some of the claims that are made, because we already have very, very strict environmental regulations which are checked all the way through a process, and we have massive royalties that are paid, and yet there's another impost that comes onto us. So I'm always quite sceptical of these sort of claims.
Well, we'll watch this case and we'll bring you the latest as it happens. Before you go, the Trump administration is looking to develop an LNG project in Alaska so it can export gas to its allies in Asia. This is an effort to revitalise the US fossil fuel investment in Asia. Donald Trump revived this decades-old proposal in his talks with the Japanese Prime Minister, who reportedly told Donald Trump that he hoped Japan could participate in this $69 billion project. Ian, this is again just more evidence of the US pressing ahead with its fossil fuel projects and not just becoming energy independent, but becoming an energy superpower.
Well, that's quite right. Alaska does have a lot of oil and gas. It's basically unexploited. And we in Australia export a lot of gas around the world, a lot of it to Japan. So because we're not active, what it means is that the Americans are going to take our markets from us. They're also going to take markets from other big gas suppliers like Kuwait. So we're sitting back while Rome's burning. We should be aggressively out there marketing. Now, we burnt our bridges some time ago with the Japanese, with the green tape, the red tape, the black tape, and the UN's blue tape. And what that means is that we are now an insecure supplier. And the Japanese, of course, would look elsewhere to get a supplier that is more secure. So this is bad news for Australia. It's an own goal. State and federal governments have done this to us.
Professor Ian Plimer, it's always a pleasure. Thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you.